Hi guys. It's been a really long week. Pulling a double tomorrow at work, which means I won't get home till about 10:30. Logan will already be in bed, and this is gonna be the longest shift I've pulled since leaving the nursing home I used to work at. A little nervous. Logan's been having a rough time with some behaviors lately. But we were up at the library in Grantsville. Of course, they have a pond up there and they have ducks. And Logan adores ducks. So we sat there in the heat and we watched the ducks for a bit. And there's this big white one. And he looks at me and goes, "Mommy, ducks have eyes?" I said, "Yes, that's right, sweetheart, they have eyes." "Ducks have tails?" I said, "Yes, ducks have tails." He said, "Do ducks have noses?" I said, "Yes." I said, "They have little tiny noses on their bills." Easiest way to explain it to him. He goes, "Mommy, ducks have wings." I said, "That's right, sweetheart, they have wings." I said, "What do the wings do?" And he says, "Wings help them fly." So he was going on today about all the things that ducks have. And it was so interesting to me and so beautiful in the fact that that is the first time he's ever really asked me questions like that. You know, more than maybe just one or two at a stretch. Today, he was full of duck questions. And of course, I don't know very much about ducks other than they are just some of the most beautiful birds on the face of the earth. At least I think so. And he loves watching these ducks fly across the pond and swim. We were walking down through the grass at the pond to get to the playground. He turns around. You know, he stops and he turns around and looked at him and I said, "What are you doing, sweetheart?" And he goes, "I have to tell the duckies bye-bye. I have to tell the duckies bye." He stands there and he goes, "Bye-bye, ducks. Bye-bye, ducks. Love you, ducks." Okay. This kid... The joy I have in knowing that he's able to speak to me now. There are no words for it. Every day, it is something new. He is... he can be such a joy, and just like every kid is, he can be such a joy, and he can also be... excuse that. He can also be a little bit of a velociraptor, like all kids are. He has his moments now where he throws the typical standard temper tantrum when he doesn't get his way. Not that Mommy gives in and lets him get his way. Mommy reminds him of consequences. Of course, his favorite thing in the evenings that I typically let him do after he gets his bath is I'll let him watch YouTube on my phone after he gets his bath. So this morning he was carrying on at a high rate. He didn't want to listen. I said, Logan, do you want YouTube tonight after you get your bath? He goes, Mommy, I want YouTube now. I said, well, you know you really only get it after your bath, or I said, you'll probably get it this afternoon while we're at Nana's eye appointment. Something like that. I said, those are the only two circumstances in which you get YouTube. Excuse that. I said, you really have to earn it back. I said, YouTube is a privilege, not a right. And he looked at me and his eyes were great big, and I said, you have to earn the right to sit and watch YouTube in the evenings or at Nana's appointment by being the best behaved little boy you possibly can be. That means you're not going to fuss and fight when we tell you we need to do something. You're not going to give us any trouble when we say you've got to brush your teeth, you've got to do this or that. You're going to listen and you're going to be a good boy about it. You're not going to fight. Wow. I mean, I tend to come off, at least in my eyes, because I'm my own hardest critic, I feel like I tend to come off as this colossal hard ass when it comes to raising him. And I don't mean to be. And, I mean, I know it's not much of a defense, but I was raised back in the day when your kids didn't listen. There wasn't any of this 1, 2, 3 timeout business. It was automatic. You're getting spanked BS. And that wouldn't work. You know, that mentality would not work. Sorry. With Logan. And I've had people tell me that I'm ruining him because I don't, spanking is not the first thing that I go for when I'm trying to correct him. I do my level best to talk it out with him and to make him understand. And if he chooses to ignore what I'm telling him, then of course there are going to be consequences. And the only consequences he really cares about are taking away the DVD player, taking away YouTube. So that's what I do. And now he's getting to this point where he has to have this big stack of books read to him every night before bed. And even have some of them read to him before nap time. And one thing he understands is, okay, you don't want to listen? Well, guess what? That's one less book we're reading tonight. Keep it up. You won't get any read to you tonight. You'll just have to lay in bed and stew without a story. And of course that just upsets him. Oh my gosh, don't take away my books. I have to have my books. I have to have my bedtime stories. In general, he is getting better about behaving appropriately, behaving age appropriately. There And I will be the first to tell you, there are days where it's hard. And it seems like it's just one meltdown or temper tantrum after another. And unless you've really been around him, you can't tell the difference. I know I'm looking pretty rough today. I don't mean to keep yawning. It's 80 some degrees today, and the heat just has me washed out. Or at least I'm gonna blame it on the heat. The big takeaway from this early part of the week is Logan is starting to really not just understand what his behavior needs to be. He's understanding that he can ask Mommy questions, and Mommy tries her best to answer. I mean, like today with the conversation about the ducks. That just blew me away. I mean, this kid's been predominantly nonverbal from the time he was about 18, 19 months old. As I've said many times, he's been nonverbal. And I mean, it would hurt. Because he had been, at that point, he had been using functional communicative English to speak, and then overnight it felt like it was all gone. And we were back to baby babbling and grunting and meltdowns everywhere, because every little thing would set him off, and you had no way of knowing what the issue was. And I wished I could tell you how many times I prayed and I begged God to just give him back his words so that I could understand what he needed, what he wanted, if he was in pain. I mean, unless you've had a nonverbal child, you don't know the thoughts, the fears, the anxieties, the pain that lurks in the heart of the parent of a nonverbal child. And now, here he is speaking again, and I don't care if I have to listen to lines from the Thomas and Friends movie, The Great Race, all day long when I'm home. As long as he's talking to me, I don't care. For those who may not know, a child on the spectrum may or may not use echolalia when they speak. And echolalia is where they repeat lines from books, movies, etc. that may or may not have any real bearing on what they're talking about. Logan is predominantly using echolalia right now. But today I got a glimmer of hope that we can get him out of the echolalia stage. If we keep really working with him. One thing he gets a kick out of saying, and I have no idea why he gravitates towards this phrase, but this is from The Great Race. Especially if I'm coming home from work, he will come in and meet me at the kitchen door, and he will say, "No, Gordon, wait, you mustn't race." And I mean, he says that 100 times a day, if he says it once. Another standard phrase you hear him say a lot is, "Don't be sad. Don't be sad." And I wish I could get him to understand, "No, baby, I'm not sad. I'm thankful that you're talking again. I'm glad that I get to hear that beautiful voice of yours again, because I have missed it so much." I don't know if anybody else has noticed it lately, but it seems like every other month or so, there's this big controversy in the autism community about the puzzle piece symbol. And well, why do we use the puzzle piece? Because nothing in these kids is missing, and we should use the gold infinity symbol like they do over in Europe and that. Yes, it would be nice, I think, if Americans adopted the gold infinity symbol, because AU is the scientific symbol for gold. It's also the first two letters in autism. It would be nice, but every time I see the puzzle piece, I think of my son. Not that I want to say he has pieces missing. His pieces are all there. They're just put together differently. But he loves jigsaw puzzles, so every time I see the puzzle piece, I picture him in my head, sitting, putting a 24 or 48 piece jigsaw puzzle together. Whichever symbol you feel you prefer, the puzzle piece or the infinity symbol, colored gold. I mean, to me they are both beautiful symbols. The one thing that aggravates me to death is because I love to go on Google Images and download things that I can make little inspirational wallpapers for my phone, especially in April with it being Autism Awareness Month. And it seems like every April, especially on Facebook, and you see it everywhere, pictures with the phrase, "Until every piece fits." That's the one thing that ticks me off. Dude, there are no missing pieces in autism. They are just put together differently than in a neurotypical person. That's it. The one analogy I've seen that I really like is somebody got the brilliant idea to compare neurotypicals to a PC and people with autism to the Mac. And I'm going to try to summarize it because I cannot remember exactly what the picture says, but it says something along the lines of a person with autism is like a Mac computer. All the same features as a PC for the most part, just a different operating system. Does the same basic functions as a laptop or a PC. Different operating system. And that's really how I feel about Logan. He runs on his own operating system. I swear that was an allergy cough. Not COVID. He runs on his own operating system. And somewhere along the way, the user manual for his operating system got the computer with this little boy with this lovely and unique operating system came home with me. The user manual to understand the operating system, I don't know where it got to because it never arrived. But yeah, I see the puzzle piece, and I truly don't feel that there's anything missing in his life. He's just like everybody else. If he gets cut, his blood is red. He feels pain. He feels hurt. He gets hungry. He gets thirsty. He gets tired. He prefers certain things over others, just like everybody else does. There is not one piece missing to him. There isn't. He just runs on a different operating system to the rest of us. He's just hardwired different. He is a beautiful, unique, much beloved conundrum. And now that he's verbal again, I'm just now starting to crack the code, as it were. I'm just now beginning to understand how he operates. Really understand how he operates, not just assume I know how he operates because I'm his mother. And I know certain things about him better than anybody else will ever know. I understand his stubborn streak. I understand his idea that I'm just gonna bend the world to my will. So I have sort of the same issue. I sort of have this take no prisoners, no holds barred, my way or the highway mentality when it comes to a few things. But he is upstairs napping now. Thankfully, he did take, unfortunately, a brief nap in the car. I had left my grandmother to see her brother in the nursing home so she could visit with him and have some time where she didn't have to worry about Logan for a while. So he went with me. And on the way back to pick her up, he fell asleep in the car. And just as we were pulling into the gas station to fill up the tank with gas and see if he needed a refill on drink, because like I said, it's up in the 80s today. So I wanted to make sure he stayed hydrated. Right then and there he woke up. And I was hoping he wasn't going to wake up till we were in Somerset at least. So I insisted that once we got him home, he went up and took a nap. He's just now finally napping, and it is 4:01. Yay! I cannot think of anything else to tell you. If you have any questions, feel free to comment, and I'll do my best to answer in the next video. Bye, guys.